welcome back guys. Today I'm here in my backyard and it's beautiful, it's early, and we're going to make a really cool recipe today that I found in my Ontario Woodlot magazine. We're gonna try a really cool recipe today. It's called pickled maple spruce tips, because spruce tips are in season around here and they're super easy to forage, even if you are an urban forager. And after that, I'm gonna give you a little update on my heart situation that you guys have been following over the years. Stay tuned. I'm going to show you our ingredients here today. So we've got a half teaspoon of salt, a quarter teaspoon of black pepper, and the recipe calls for 2 dried chilies. I'm just using a half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, a cup of apple cider vinegar, a quarter cup of water, 3 tablespoons of my maple syrup, or you can get a maple syrup of your choice, and 2 cups of spruce tips that are tightly packed and washed. So as you can see, spruce tips are the green new growth of spruce trees. So these ones are from white spruce and they have a lovely lemony flavor. You can eat them as is at this stage, sprinkle them on salads and things like that. However, I'm going to pickle these, and let me quickly show you the recipe from the Ontario Woodlot Association magazine. So this is from Sugarstone Farm, so really excited to try out this new recipe. Briefly going to show you the table that I'm working with today. My plastic table bit the dust, the one I have at the cabin, so I'm using this one from Princess Auto that I bought. I love it. It is a stainless steel table and it's folding, so those legs fold up, and it's got this rack here at the bottom. I'll just show you here. It's this one right here. And this can be removed and it can also be put on the bottom there as well. So lots of place to store your stuff. And I think the dimensions are about 50 by 7 by 25 inches. So pretty cool, and it folds up and it's not too heavy either. So this is going to go to the cabin after for my kitchen. Super easy to clean up, being stainless steel obviously. So it'll be perfect for today's recipe. And yeah, I really like it, and it'll last a heck of a lot longer than my plastic table that I had at the cabin. Okay, so what we're going to do is add all the very first parts of the recipe, everything excluding the spruce tips, to our pot here, and we're going to boil it. So I'm going to add in my apple cider vinegar and my water. Next I'm going to add in my maple syrup that I made this spring, 3 tablespoons. It's very good. It's the amber. And be generous with your tablespoons, you know. Can't be too sweet. There we go. A little extra. And we're going to put in some salt, pepper, and red chili flakes. All right, I've got it all in there, and you don't have to put as many red pepper flakes as I did there. That's going to be a little spicy. But anyways, so we're going to let that heat up and come to a boil. In the meantime, I want you to take your spruce tips and pack them into a your clean jar, your clean 500 milliliter canning jar. And I've washed these beforehand. I've taken all the little papery husks off of them. So we're just going to pack this in there really tightly. If you want tips on how to forage these spruce tips, I've got a video right here that you can check that out. Again, make sure of what you're harvesting. There are some pretty toxic evergreens out there like you don't want to make a mistake and grab the wrong thing. But white spruce are pretty easy to identify. Alright, just pack them in there as tight as you can. There you go. This is going to be good. I'm excited. Okay, perfect. And now we wait for the brine to finish preparing. Well, that did not take very long. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this off the heat and pour it in the jar over the spruce tips. Just going to use a spoon and push that down to make sure all the spruce tips are covered, and then we'll shake it a few times. Get all the air bubbles out. So I'm going to push all the air bubbles out of there, make sure all the spruce tips are covered and packed in there nicely. These look so good. Oh my goodness. So we're going to let this cool down after we put the lid on it. And these are fridge pickles, so these are not meant for long-term preservation, but here we go. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the lid on there, and we're going to shake it up a little bit, a few times, just to make sure all the spices and salt and pepper are kind of mixed all through. Just going to mix this up. just a few times to make sure everything's covered and all the nice flavors. And then we'll let this cool for a few hours and we'll try it. Spruce tips are excellent on, you know, grilled items. You can put them on fish or meat or sprinkle them on salad. Really nice and tangy, sweet and spicy. So lovely. I love the flavors of spring. So I'm gonna pop this in the fridge. Let's talk about what's been going on with my heart though. Thought I'd hike down to the little river here and tell you guys about my heart update. So rewind back to October 2018 when I went on a camping trip with my friend Birch. We had an awesome time. I did a lot of canoeing and camping. We had a medical crisis. It was a little bit of an understatement. When we were camping one night, a storm was coming in and I'd just been having a great day hiking and chopping wood, and I came back to the camp to light a fire. I bent down, and when I stood up, my heart rate went really, really high, and it went to 240 beats a minute for an hour. So it was really frightening. I was incapacitated, couldn't really do anything, and thankfully I survived the ordeal. You should watch the videos that I posted. I'll put the links up here about the ordeal. I filmed the whole thing. So when I got back, I saw a cardiologist, a couple of cardiologists actually, to try to figure out what was going on. And, you know, they suspected at the time it was supraventricular tachycardia, big word, SVT, that caused my heart rate to be so high. And subsequently, I've had several episodes of that, not camping, but at the cabin and things like that. So I was scheduled to have all these cardiac tests, and I did. I had... There's some pretty cool bird activity going on over there. I'll show you guys later. I had a lot of tests done, and the latest was a cardiac CAT scan, which is pretty interesting actually, to see my heart and, you know, tell me a little bit more about the anatomy of my heart and see if there's a problem there. So all my tests were cleared. They still suspected SVT, so I was in the schedule to have a procedure done where they get rid of the abnormal tissue in my heart. It's called an ablation surgery. And yeah, there was many, you know, there's lots of talk about getting this done, right? And then the pandemic hit, and so things got delayed and delayed, and I've had more episodes since then. So it's kind of scary when it happens, obviously, when the, you know, my heart rate gets that high and it's sustained like that for an hour. Like, I can't do anything. You know, I'm out of breath, I can't really move around. It breeds anxiety in you because you're like, is my heart just going to stop, you know, because it's going so fast. And it limits me, you know, it does make me nervous about going and doing a lot of backcountry stuff. Cormorants actually is what's going on over there, and they're being a little loud. So basically, you know, I had a phone call this spring, I think it was February, late February, early March, and said, do you want to be in the surgery schedule? Finally, you know, I think we, you know, we're okay to go ahead. The pandemic seemed to be slowing down. You know, we were coming out of, you know, a second wave, and the cases were quite low. So I said, sure, yeah, put me on the list. And she says, yep, I'll give you a call. We'll get everything on schedule. And then nothing. So what happened was, and I had to find this out through other ways, was that COVID outbreak happened in the place where I'm supposed to get my heart surgery. So a whole bunch of the staff got sick. Patients were getting sick, and all surgeries were basically canceled unless you were like in a crisis mode, and they would obviously figure out if you had a heart attack or something like that. But any procedure which wasn't immediately, you know, wouldn't, you know, save your life like in the moment, was canceled. So I literally have not heard back from them since that happened. I hope all the staff are okay, but huge outbreak there. So I just decided I didn't want to take the risk, and I still don't know what to do. Haven't heard back from them. I'm sure they will call me eventually when things settle down. Here in Ontario, we're just sliding out of a third wave, and that was sort of the beginning of the third wave when everything got canceled again. So we'll have to see what happens. Right now, I mean, I feel okay, but any moment I could really have an issue. So I got to be really careful. You know, I've been taking it easy sort of with my outdoor adventures. So anyway, we'll find out what's going to happen. Stay tuned. But that's where I stand now. I have not had the ablation, and now I'm kind of like getting cold feet about the whole thing, especially with, you know, the outbreaks of the virus and everything, even within the hospital, kind of frightening. So I have to decide whether I wait till I'm fully vaccinated, you know, which would happen sometime in the fall. I've had one shot. But I may wait till I have a second vaccination just to be a little bit safer, I suppose. So I'll see what they say, but that's the update for now. So I know it's a little bit bright, but you can see our little cormorant friends over there. They're just doing a little bit of fishing, and there's quite a commotion. I think they were kind of fighting with each other, but there's a group of them over there. I don't know what a group of cormorants is called. If you know what that is, let me know down below in the comments. Right, so I'm back now. I'm gonna have a little snack. I'm gonna try my spruce tips. Probably should leave them in the fridge, I would say about 3 to 4 days to get that peak, you know, flavor from the pickling. I don't know if it's the peak, but it's gonna make them taste really, really good. But I'm too excited to wait that long, so I'm gonna try them. Give them a sniff. Smells good. All right, let's try this. A little forkful here. Let's see what they're like. Oh, that's really good. Ooh, and there's the spice. That is really, really good. Pretty spicy with that little bit of hot pepper flakes, but good. Man, I can't wait till these get even more flavorful over the coming days. This is going to be awesome, you know, for your fish, for your grilled steaks. Ooh, that is the perfect amount of spice for me. If you want it spicier, add more red pepper flakes. I know the original recipe calls for chilies. Just sky's the limit, guys. This is really, really good. And yeah, the flavors of the maple syrup and the apple cider vinegar go along really nicely with the lemony flavor of the spruce tips. So this recipe, 2 thumbs up. So definitely you guys want to try this. Well, I hope you guys have a great week as always, and I hope you enjoy spring. Such a beautiful time of year. Have a great week. Take care.